this is Jeff Nager with AMD World Championship, and we're here with Brian Fuller. You might recognize this guy. He's been on TV. Talk about this couple shows you've been on.
Man, I've been around by now. It's weird looking back. Started on rides, did 10 overhaulings. I did a biker build-off. Been co-hosting Two Guys Garage on Speed as of recently. It's kind of winding down that job, and currently on, actually this bike was built on Cafe Racer TV.
It's a beautiful looking bike. Tell us a little bit about this bike.
Well, it's kind of, we've started a little bit of a frenzy on the internet, on the web, because we took a 69 CB750, which was the first year, and the most desirable, the most valuable, and I bought it from the original owner and then proceeded to cut it apart, totally dismembered in 25 minutes in front of the original guy who put 75,000 miles on it himself.
So Brian Fuller makes guys cry.
It was, you know, like, why did you do it? Why? And I'm like, you know, I mean, you need drama on TV. You know what I mean? I'm not going to yell at anybody. I'm a fairly nice guy. But, you know, you need to, like, you got to, like, piss a few people off here and there.
And it sounds like you're making it happen. Hey, let's start at the front of the bike. What do we got going here? It looks like you got a cut-down fork and some really cool-looking brake systems.
Yeah, we've got a set of Behringer inboard hubs. This is kind of a prototype unit. They've had a few of them out, but I think there are only probably 5 or 6 in the world at this point.
That's a really cool looking brake set. How does it stop?
It's actually really, one of the things that surprised me is how controllable it is. Sometimes you get really racy killer brakes and they just tend to really lock up. These are really feathered, progressive, you know. They're really light, so they go really fast. Pick up your rolling mass really decreases, and speed is really good. And I mean, the rear brake's the best rear brake I've ever had.
What'd you do with the forks?
Forks we cut down, but one of the neat things we did was we actually made little stainless covers to weld the handlebars onto.
Oh, cool.
And
right.
so it kind of looks like you just welded right to the forks. But what it does is, the worst thing that these have is rust on the fork itself, and it's in that area. And so in order to, you know, these are an inexpensive bike to start with, which is nice, but then if you've got to buy a new $400 fork for it, kind of defeats the purpose, you know. So we're able to cover that rusted area, you know, a place that usually has trouble.
And we're all about innovation, right?
That's right, yeah.
Now, where did that big light come from?
It's a Ducati light. Actually, it's a Ducati front, and we did cast our own light. And what I did was took 2 plastic pieces of the original CB, cut them in half, reversed them. Reversed them, made a mold, and then I had that cast out of aluminum.
Well, the trees on it looks very cool, but that's probably a stock element?
Yep, they're stock. We just kind of cleaned them up, welded up some weird things. Carbs are CR, which I had to be sold on changing the carbs out. You know, everybody's like, dude, you gotta do, or not everybody. Actually, my motorcycle mechanic was like, dude, you gotta do the carbs. You gotta do the carbs. You gotta do the carbs. And eventually, when I tried them, now I have 3 sets.
So you like them?
I love them. I mean, they go from like to just bam, 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 you know, like that. I mean,
and you're all about the bam.
All about the bam.
So that tank, is that stock?
That is stock, and we trimmed in the little, you know, leg pieces. We got an aircraft cap. The tail section I made from scratch on the show out of aluminum, and the little cast tail light is a piece I had left over from another little bike that I built. One of the cooler things too we did was we put the oil tank in the swing arm, and that's
very cool. Nice touch.
Yeah, it cleans it up and works really nice too. So
you must have breathed a little bit on that engine.
What do you mean breathe a little bit?
You know, worked on it a little bit, put some work in it.
It's got the big bore kit. The heads have been flowed. You know, some valve work, and obviously just a lot of, mainly just detailing. I mean, you don't really have to do much to these CBs to make them really come alive. I mean, the bike weighs about 375 pounds, and it's probably 80 horse, somewhere in there. I've never dynoed it, but roughly. So yeah, it'll scoot. It's fun.
So the guy that that was there when you cut up the bike, he must have liked what he saw after it got done.
He likes it, you know. the premise of the show on Cafe Racer was pretty cool. Is that we cut it up in front of the owner. On Cafe Racer, they always have a build. They have a find, a build, and a test. And so at the test, normally is like a pro racer. What we did was we had the original owner ride it, and we had the new owner ride it. And you hope that the original owner respects what you did. He's probably not going to like it that much,
right?
Especially when he has size 15 shoes. Dude had 15 shoes.
Man, I think the header must roasted his toenails.
Yeah, so the shoes didn't work out, but I had no idea his feet were that big. And but the new owner was just thrilled, and we got to ride it at the Barber Motorsports Park track.
What a beautiful track.
And we had 4 hours alone. Like we could literally turn around and go the other direction on the track on that bike. It was so much fun.
So what's it like to ride?
It's very aggressive stance, so it's it's pretty arm heavy. You're really leaned over a lot, which kind of makes you not want to go slow, because the most comforting part about this bike is when you're in it, because it really kind of takes the weight off your hands. Right. It's not fun to cruise. You know what I mean? It wants to go fast, and that's it. It just go, 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 go.
So racing to the cafe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was the most challenging part of this build?
I mean, just the intensity of doing something on TV, and the intensity of any mistakes being just magnified. Like, hey, that's what TV does. Like, oh, you're making a mistake. Great. Let me film that. That's great. It makes for great TV. Right. But as a builder, it's just kind of terrifying, because you want to look like you're a professional. You want to look like you know what you're doing. You want to look like, all the things that you feel like are going to bring customers to you and feel comfortable that you're doing a nice piece of work for them,
So part of the shtick is to yell at somebody and kick them in the pants?
No yelling. It's just tough, man. I mean, you imagine if what you do here, if the camera's on you and you're standing over there on the sideline or behind the scenes, if the camera's on you, then you got to watch. Like, you just have to watch your P's and Q's, and
right.
Kind of like right now.
Any technology you used in here that you think you'll be using in other bikes that you really like?
I think the big was the brakes.
Yeah.
The brakes were nice. We've been using ARP fasteners, which are aircraft grade. Every bolt on here that we've changed out to the stainless ARP fasteners are all head bolt grade. So we don't really break bolts. I mean, and especially with stainless or Inconel, that really becomes, especially stainless, becomes an issue. If you've ever bought like cheap stainless steel hardware, yep, but it'll snap on you in a minute. This stuff is all head bolt grade. So we really just, by being able to work with them, we don't have to deal with that, which is nice.
I would think that that brake system from Behringer would look good on almost any kind of build.
Oh man, I think they actually developed, this part they developed for aircraft.
Oh really?
Landing gear is what they originally had this inboard set up for. I think actually this part comes out of their aircraft division, if I'm not mistaken.
How long does a build take of this caliber?
This one, because we did it on TV, was about 2 or 3 months. Normally, most of my bikes are about 6 months, somewhere in there.
Well, I'm sure all the builders out there that are listening to you want to know how to get on TV. And there you have it, folks. That's how you do it.
I wish I could tell you. You just have to be good on TV, whatever that means.
It helps if you're good.
You have to be good, and you have to be good on TV.
All right. Well, that's a double nickel. So if somebody was interested in knowing more about your bikes, maybe commissioning a bike, how would they get a hold of you, and what's your website?
FullerHotRods.com. Check us out.
And you want to give us an email address or a telephone?
Sure, Brian at FullerHotRods.com. Links on the website. But yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's finest.
And how's it feel to be a television star?
I don't know. It doesn't really feel that much different. It's just like being in a small town everywhere you go. You know what I mean? Like
so you do get free coffee?
Yeah, you're just like, I grew up in a really small town. Right. And so, you go down the store like, hey, Brian, what's going on, man? Hey! Except for you don't know who the hell that is.
Just rock on, baby. Rock on!
Yeah! Who are you? Do I know you?
All right. Hey, well, good luck in the show here in Sturgis, and look forward to seeing a lot more of your stuff on television.
Appreciate it.